Good morning.
Good morning.
Isn't it great that on this Super Sunday we are going to learn the answer that we can use no matter what the question is. This is really a Super Sunday. We are going to be aware of a very vital answer to everything. What I know that in unity we always give this answer. We sing the song, and I know that you already know what the answer is to everything. The love is the answer to everything. Love is the answer. No matter what the question is, no matter what the situation is that we're called upon to face, love is the answer to everything. Now, I'm not talking about that kind of love like loving pistachio ice cream, loving puppy bread, loving Montana skies, although I'm not sure the answer to everything is beyond sentimental love. It is, well, I really like what Teilhard de Chardin says. Some of you may know Teilhard de Chardin. He is a French cleric and philosopher. He lived in New York City in his later years, and he would go over and sit on a park bench and talk to a little 12-year-old girl, talk philosophy to her. This little girl grew up to be Jean Houston. So can you imagine at 12 years old having conversations with Teilhard de Chardin? What he says about love. Someday, after we have mastered the wind, the waves, the tides, and gravity, we shall harness for God the energies of love. And then, for the second time in the history of the world, we will have discovered fire. See, the kind of love he's talking about, that kind of love, is as big as the discovery of fire, is as bigger than anything that we have ever experienced before in our lives. This kind of love is God's love. This is the kind of love that when we access it, it heals and harmonizes and unifies and energizes. And very importantly, in my estimation, it is the magnet that draws to us our highest good. Love is the magnet that draws our highest good to us. No matter what the situation is we're called upon to face, no matter what the experience is that we are having, we go within ourselves to that place in which love is the power. Into that place that we identify as one of our 12 powers. And we talked about the 12 powers some time ago when we introduced it with faith is one of our 12 powers. So love is also one of our 12 powers. And love is available to us 24/7. 100%. The kind of love that Emmett Fox talks about. Some of us know Emmett Fox. He's a divine science minister who was a master metaphysician. And one of the metaphysical books that he wrote is called it is where he does the metaphysics of the Beatitudes. Beatitudes are kind of tricky. And he does the metaphysics of the Beatitude in a book called Sermon on the Mount. And it was a book that was used by Bill W. before the big book was written. And it was the study guide. Emmett Fox says about love that there is nothing in the world, there's nothing that enough love cannot heal. And you see, we are born with, we have that energy and that power that resides in the center of our being, right between our root chakra and the Christ chakra. Right in the middle of that is the seat of love, seat of pure, perfect, unconditional love. This is the love that heals. This is the love that harmonizes, that unifies. This is the love that energizes. This is the love that Emma Fox is talking about. Enough of this kind of love will heal anything. Many years ago, as I was thinking about it was actually quite a long time ago when I was a child, when our relatives received the diagnosis of cancer, it was the diagnosis of the death sentence. And about 30 years later, the doctors began coming together with the cancer treatment programs. And they were using a holistic approach. They were using spirit, soul, and body. And this story comes from Dr. Carl Symington in what I think was his book, Getting Well Again. And he tells the story of an old man who was a part of the initial treatment program. He was there in the treatment program and had completed it and was having an exit interview with a member of his team. And she said, okay, now I'm going to give you a 3-month appointment, and we expect you back in 3 months. But in the meantime, I'm asking you to visualize and to practice this visualization for the next 3 months. I'm asking you to bring into your conscious awareness a Pac-Man swimming through, and then she realized, oh, he's probably too old, about Pac-Man. A Pac-Man or a shark that would be swimming through your bloodstream. And I want you to gobble up all the cancer cells. He said, what exactly does that do? And she said, well, it kills the cancer cells. He said, I'm a Quaker. I can't kill anything. So she said, well, all right then, we won't be doing the visualization. We'll see you back here in 3 months. But she told her team, I'm not sure. He's not able to do that. She said, I'm not sure if we'll see him back in 3 months. But she was wrong. The old man showed up right on time. And interestingly enough, he was cancer-free. So they called him into the team, and they said, now you have a problem doing the visualization. But you're cancer-free. What did you do in the 3 months before you came back? And he said, well, I realized that the cancer cells were in my body. They were mine. They were a part of me. And so he said, I just visualized love surrounding each and every cell. And he said, each and every cell apparently left my body or returned to their natural state through love. That's the kind of love that Emma Fox is talking about. There's nothing but enough love cannot heal. When we look in the Christian scriptures, we see that someone asking Jesus, probably concerning the 10 commandments, which one is the greatest commandment? What is the greatest commandment? And Jesus says, the greatest commandment is this: love the Lord your God with all your heart, soul, mind, and strength. And love your neighbor as yourself. The second is like unto it. Love your neighbor as yourself. Now, perhaps you've heard Eric Butterworth say that go to God first. Go to man as God directs. Go to God first. And here's Jesus saying the same thing. What is the first and the greatest commandment? Love the Lord God with all your heart, soul, mind, and strength. When you come to that place where God resides, the fourth dimension, the creative energy in the fourth dimension, when we access that, when we come to God first, and we access love. Love the Lord your God with all your heart, soul, mind, and strength. And the thing that's so important about that is that no one in our entire life loves us with that universal, everlasting love that God has for us. And the thing that I particularly like about that, although there's some rumor in some areas that this is not the case, but here, what we know is that God loves us with an everlasting love. And there's absolutely nothing we can do to jeopardize that love. There's nothing we can say, there's no behavior that we can have that will ever set us off, destroy that love that God has for us. It's universal. It's eternal. It is always available to us, 24/7. That love, unconditional, pure, perfect, divine love, unconditional, is always available to us. And then, when we experience that love, our heart opens. And when our heart opens, then we can say namaste. We can see everyone and everything in the eyes of love. Love is actually the language of spirit. It's actually the language of spirit. And when we are in that state of consciousness of love, what we are doing is seeing others with the eyes of spirit. We're seeing each and every situation from that energy and activity of spirit. It is love that heals and harmonizes and unifies. It energizes, and it is the magnet that draws our highest good to us. And it is always available to us, 24/7. Now, I have been told that there are people who do not actually value something they learn for free, something that's given for free. And if that's a situation with you, let me say that I paid $800 for this information that I'm going to give free. It wasn't free. Years ago, a friend of mine was given the gift of going to HeartMath. And she invited me to take her there, and I did have to pay the $800 in order to come to the sessions. Now, in the first session, I was the only woman there. I showed up with blue jeans and sandals and T-shirts, along with a large group of men who showed up in three-piece suits. They were the mid and upper management of IBM in Chicago. And what I realized is that IBM had sent them to HeartMath in order to learn how to make decisions that would be for the highest good of all concerned. Business decisions. Later I kind of thought this might be a good idea if we send some politicians to HeartMath to learn how to make decisions for the highest good of all concerned. But I digress. So that morning, the first morning, and we all showed up together, the facilitator spent about 45 minutes introducing us to the power of love and to the location of love in the heart. And so after about 45 minutes, a big guy from Chicago says, so how do we access the heart? How do we go into the heart? Oh, the facilitator said, ready to cut to the chase? Well, just relax your body for a moment. Just sit there and relax your body and breathe and follow your breath. And with each breath that you are conscious of breathing, then just feel the mind becoming still. I was there to learn how to access the heart. I I knew how to do this. Everyone how to relax the body, how to quiet the mind. That was free. That was free for me. And I was there to learn how to access the heart by paying $800. I knew that this was going to be a pearl of great price that I was going to learn. After we had relaxed the physical body and quieted the mind, he said, now bring your attention to your left foot. Easy. Bring your attention to your right elbow. Now bring your attention to Alaska. Wow, this is good. I hadn't been to Alaska by that time, and yet I went right directly to Alaska. Brought my attention to Alaska. Now bring it to your left shoulder. Now bring your attention to your heart. There you go. That's how you get into your heart.
That's it.
That's what I thought too. I paid $800 for this. That's exactly what I thought. You know, it was like, okay, so I learned to value free things, you know, as well as those that are expensive. That is how we get into the heart. That's how we go to the heart, simply by bringing our attention to our heart. When our attention's in our heart, the heart opens, and we have access to that pure, perfect, divine love. Now, there's one other way of doing it. It's the back door of how we can open our heart and come to love, and that is when we are in gratitude or appreciation for something. In gratitude or appreciation, we just simply accept, express, and experience the energy of love. It shows up. And so if you don't have the time or the space in order to go into love, you know, one of the biggest things that I express gratitude for is the Montana sky. I think it is, I am grateful for it. I appreciate it. It makes me feel, it's so beautiful. It just provides the ability to feel gratitude. And so you don't need to have a whole lot of things to be grateful for or to appreciate. It's the canopy over us. It's right there. But everything, we can just experience little puppy breath, pistachio ice cream. We can appreciate it. We can be grateful for the opportunity, the experience, and that will open up the back door of love. And so, last week I was talking to Jeannie. And I said, Jeannie was telling me about something that she had used to heal a situation that she was in. Immediately heal the situation that she was in. And she went to her heart. And she opened her heart and expressed love. She calls it, it's a tool. And you know, this is what we do in Unity. If we know something that actually works, and we share it. This is how this works. This is what you do. This is where you go with that. I can't remember what it's called.
Heart coherence.
Coherence, okay. Heart coherence. So Jeannie just healed a situation from heart coherence. And she's going to teach us how we too can go to the heart, although you already know how to go to the heart. But this is something that it'll do. Jeannie, come and share with us the meditation. What did you think? Yeah, it's going to be on in just a minute. Okay, just come.
This is from HeartMath, and I didn't go pay $800, but I spent a heck of a lot of money on books. One of the things that I learned is when the baby is being formed in the womb, The first thing that is formalized is the heart, before the brain. So we get our attunement to our heart before we even get a brain. And that kind of tells you that the intelligence of the universe is right there with us as we're growing. When many people do this heart coherence, the one thing that they have us do instead of our touch our elbow is touch your heart. Just touch your heart. Because where your hand goes, where your attention goes, your energy flows. And Greg Braden says a lot of people do it this way because they want to feel more like they're praying. So they put their thumb against where their heart is. Whatever's comfortable for you. I just like to put my hand there. When you do that, and you get in that very peaceful place, just breathe. Breathe in, say like the count of 4. And out the count of 4. In the count of 4. And out the count of 4. Take your breath to your heart, like your heart is breathing to the count of 4. In through your heart, and out through your heart. While you're doing this, think of joy. Think of the joy of a little toddler that's just giggling. Everybody loves to see a toddler just giggle. And that joy. And see that. Imagine that in your mind's eye. Go for a walk in nature. Observe the beauty of the forest. See the trees and the beauty of the trees. And then coming upon the babbling stream, listen to the frog on the bank. And the song of the birds. Listen to the birds. Being grateful for the peace and harmony of nature. This inner feeling that all is well. When we're in tune with our heart, all is well. The advantage of this is that energy from our heart, in tune with the infinite, is actually attuned to divine intelligence. And doing this as many times a day that we can, you get a stronger intuition, more synchronistic events happen in our lives to guide us, that strong inner guide, and a deep, deep peace. And I like to call this the peace beyond all understanding. And it's something that I try to do as much as I can every day. And it's awesome what happens to us.
Can you tell us a story of the last time you used it? When you're driving down the road?
Oh, that wasn't the last time I used it. But Thanksgiving Day, I was driving down from Laurel to my son's house. It was just a beautiful day, Thanksgiving Day, and I was, what do I do when I'm driving along, you know? And I noticed there was a lady in front of me that was weaving like this. I mean, she'd go past the inside line, and then she would clear over past the outside line, and back and forth and back and forth. So I thought, well, I'm not going to pass her. So I just kind of hung back, and to occupy myself, I thought, well, I'll do the heart coherence. And so I did all the things that go into heart coherence, to breathe through my heart, and I enjoyed the beautiful day, and just found things to be grateful for. And while I'm in this space of heart coherence, the idea comes to me to send that energy to whoever's driving that car. So I did. And this car that was driving like this went, actually made a difference. And in sense of my studies about this and learning more and more from HeartMath, you can do this to someone you're praying for, and that energy will go to Alaska or any place you want to send it. That heart coherence energy is divine intelligence, and we're part of it. That's the tool of heart coherence. It's pretty great.
It is good. Thank you. Do remember, if you remember nothing else, there is nothing, absolutely nothing that enough love will not heal. Let's join together.